Hello, journalistic writers of the future. This is Spoon, the alumni of alumni's. If you're wondering why I keep looking to my right, it's because my screen is here, my camera is here, which isn't the best idea, but I'm doing it anyway. I do what I want. Today I'm going to talk to you about the art of journalistic writing, what it should sound like, what it should look like, and what it should do as a piece of writing. When it comes to journalistic writing, there are actually a set of rules. I know, right? Rules, as if we haven't had enough of those as hipsters. But believe me when I say that the set of rules are there for a reason and actually help you end up writing what you're supposed to write about as opposed to running on different tangents about nothing. Rule 1 of journalistic writing, it's not about you. Even when you're writing about you, it's not about you. I know, extremely confusing. Let me explain. When I say it's not about you, I don't mean that it's actually not about you. If you're writing about you, then it's obviously about you. What I mean by it's not about you is that you can't talk about yourself. There are no personal pronouns like I, me, or my. Sometimes you get to use what's called the royal we, but only when you become really good at this stuff. When most people think of organized journalistic writing, they think of this. That is what's more commonly known as the inverted pyramid. The idea of the inverted pyramid is that the most important things are on top, and you talk about those first, and then you start to get to the more narrow and less important things at the bottom. By the way, this is rule 2, structure. If you don't have structure, you don't have properly organized writing, and all journalistic writing is properly organized writing. When you first start out, you'll be using the inverted pyramid a lot because you don't necessarily know what you're doing. This is your first journalistic writing class, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, when you start getting into it, you'll find your own structure, and you'll be able to write journalistically and more specifically interesting without any inverted pyramid. In fact, most journalistic writers hate the inverted pyramid method, mainly because it stifles creativity. It makes everything look like the exact same article over and over and over again. No one likes that. Just because you're talking about news or history doesn't mean it doesn't have to be interesting. Speaking of interesting, that's rule 3. Not necessarily a rule, more of a guideline. When you write journalistically, the whole idea is to make news interesting and important to your reader. It's really hard to do that while being unconnected via your I, me, and my, but that's actually what makes this writing more creative. So how about an example of some form of writing or something that's done this right? I don't tend to like to give templates when I'm teaching writing because then they just write what you wrote and then there's no creativity in it. And anyone who knows me knows I'm a big thing on creativity. I mean, I have red headphones and a gray shirt. But I'm going to do it anyway, because it's a great way to show you what I want from you without doing what I want from you for you. Yeah, I think that's right. The president has been shot, and you are the journalist actually on scene right then to write this story. How do we start? This is huge news, and this needs to come out quickly and efficiently. So this is the time where you use the inverted pyramid style. You bring out what's most important first. So literally, you'd start with United States of America, the president has been shot. This is important because the president has just been shot, and you just need to tell people what happened as quickly as possible. That's the beginning of your thing. The president has been shot. This part later on is when you talk about what you know about the president being shot. Mind you, the president has not been shot. This is all information that I'm pulling out of my head, and a part of it is a little Walter Cronkite. Shout out to one of my favorites. So now we have a lot of information. We have our lead, which is literally the president has been shot, but now we need to organize our information, our who's, our what's, our when's, our why's, if there are any. This is where the actual writer's style comes into it and what you think should come next after what happened. The president has been shot. Should you talk about who was there? His wife was in the car next to him, and he had Secret Service driving the car. Why didn't the Secret Service save them? That's be your why. That's completely up to you from now on. After this part is when you be creative, and you actually get to formulate it in an interesting and passionate way while keeping it professional and journalistic. All right, so we've reached the end of our article. Now we need to wrap it up and put it through a little bow. What I would do in this situation specifically is I'd make it emotional, give them something to hold on to after this extremely huge drama bomb. This is where I'd use the royal we, bringing us together as a country or as a community or whatever. I would probably write something like, our president has been shot and our country is injured, but we are still Americans and we are still here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was your crash course in journalistic writing. I hope you learned something or attempted to learn something. This is kind of a vlog and not very professional considering I'm talking about professional writing, but we'll ignore that for the time being. See you later, and don't forget to be awesome.